All right. Welcome to Magi Monday. My name is Andrea Blythe, and I am the traveling Magi of Let Love Rise, sharing with you this ancient wisdom encoded into a deck of cards. And it is the 10th week of winter 2026, which brings us to the Ten of Spades. I am delighted to invite onto the episode today one of my former coworkers from Sage International School. She is truly one of the women who helped me recognize that I was a person, not just a mother and a wife, and was with me through well, let's just say it, through the shitstorm of my life that brought me to be where I am here today as the traveling Magi. Please welcome my dear friend and soul sister, Faith Hansen. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to learn.
Yes, yes. And so what's really fun is I love doing these episodes, sharing a little bit about what each of the 52 cards of the deck of playing cards, how it translates, how it is a reflection of our soul essence and what it means. And I know there are a lot of people, myself included, perhaps you, Faith, as well, who hear like you read playing cards like poker, go fish, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in here. And I've been developing my understanding and knowledge of the system since 2020 when we had a mutual friend, a mutual coworker who introduced me to the
Yeah.
system. So I invite your questions because Faith is a learner alongside the rest of you. She's here to receive and then also just to reflect back some of the soul essence. So sound good? Should we dive in?
Sounds great. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So 10. We're at the 10 of spades. So let's talk about what it means to be a 10. To be a 10, it's big energy. It is like success. It is community. I see you nodding your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like big energy. I like that description.
There's a reason you and I get along so well because I am also a 10 energy, 10 of diamonds, 10 of spades. We have another dear coworker of ours who 10 of clubs, and you get us together, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So that is, tens are a very powerful, very successful card. They're definitely about the community, the group, the collective. And, if you compare a 10 to an ace has perhaps that same drive and motivation and yeah. But the ace is very much one, the personal self, whereas the 10 is myself and all my friends and all the big community, very
Hmm.
community oriented. And I see that in you, 1,000% with everything
Yeah.
that you've done for Sage International. And then let's just lay it over this 10 energy with the spade. And the spade comes down to our work, our health, and our lifestyle in some ways
Hmm.
because the spade represents the winter of our lives. It represents the north of our lives. So when you think about the winter of your lives, like towards the end, your final years, you take all the wisdom of the heart, of the club, of the diamond. So the spades are a very, very powerful suit that represent in many ways our lifestyle, but specifically health and work.
Huh. That's
So,
interesting.
so can we talk about work?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Someone
Let's
call
do
it the
it.
workaholics card, Faith. Someone call it the workaholics card. Huh. Last time I was at Sage International, I guess it's been almost 3 years now since I stepped
Yeah.
away, which is wild. Not only were you the DP English teacher, which in and of itself is a crazy, insane full-time job. You coordinated prom. You were counseling. I mean, what did you
Yeah.
not do in terms of giving to work? So let's start
Yeah.
there.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think like Sage is an exception for me either. I always say, like, I started working my first job, I was 14 years old, and I don't think
Mm.
I've stopped working since I was 14. Like, except for a brief time when I lived with my family in Spain when I was writing my dissertation. That
Okay,
was
and
my
that was
that
also
was
like
my
just
break. So
that's your
I mean,
break.
work has been like a constant companion. It's where I put a lot, I mean, as you know, I put a lot of energy in it. So I guess I'm not really surprised. I
Hmm.
don't know my mom's card, like her, but she was also like I come from a family of people who worked
Hmm.
and made sense and meaning out of work. Um
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say that definitely describes me.
Yeah,
Yes, the
yeah, and what
workaholic.
I would say to anybody who is a spade, and by the way, if you're a birth card, a spade birth card, it's more unusual. Spades in the heart, spades come at the beginning of the year, and hearts at the end of the year. Clubs and diamonds are throughout the year to have this signature as your birth card. But specifically, if it is your birth card, by the way, Ten of Spades, January 4th, February 2nd, boom, there it is. Two birth dates
Yeah.
out of the whole year land the energy of the Ten of Spades. But anybody who is either born a spade or has the spade as their planetary ruling card, your life is intended to make sense of everything around you through the lens of work. And
Hmm.
in a lot of ways, we are the workhorse, and I say we because I'm a four of spades. So we are the workhorse of humanity in some
Yeah.
ways. Or it's important that we connect meaning, that we do the work that we feel inspires us.
Yeah. And it's like interesting what you're saying to me because I mean, I go back and forth, right? And I'm just like, is this the right way? I mean, you're always wondering that, right? Is this the right
Mm,
way to live your life? Is this
hmm.
right? And there are times in my life where I look at the way I make meaning and through
Hmm.
work and I'm like, oh, I see other people who are like social media and people are like,
Yeah,
how to have a carefree weekend. And they're like
I know.
embroidering,
And you're like, what? What is that?
like, like, why can't I be this person? But like, I think I'm old enough now. I
Mhm.
just can't.
Mhm.
I can't. Like I went down on work one day a week, right? But I picked up other things.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's just like you're saying, it's like in my nature.
It
So it's really
is. It
interesting that
is.
meaning. So how do you do that? Like how do you tell people who this is their card, like me,
Okay. So
who get a lot of kickback, right? Because I do feel like workaholic is a bad word, I think,
it
in the milieu. So how do you tell people to like make peace with
make
this
peace with it.
element of themselves?
Well, first of all, like when we know better, we do better. Thank you, Maya
Yeah.
Angelou, right? Like when we know better, and part of it, and the reason that I'm sharing these 52 episodes is just to give a flash of like this is part of your soul signature. And for me, I know that when I started to understand, oh, I was just designed, I have big energy. I mean, there's a part of me that always knew that, but I didn't know, or I resisted that, or I was told to be a little more quiet or to be a little less this and a little more that. All of that stuff when everything in my world led me on a really, really deep internal search within is I got to see through my soul roadmap how much this was an accurate depiction of what I'm kind of I'm starting to call like the archetype that I chose to embody as coming in, as a female to this family in this place, in this land, in this time, on this specific day. And so a lot of it, I feel like it can give a whole sense of just peace where, well, you and I went to see Lady Gaga together one
Yeah.
night only. Like what Lady Gaga says, you were born this way and you
Yeah.
chose, you chose to give service to work in this life and to serving a community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it isn't always Sage International. I know that you had professions before then,
Yeah.
that where you were definitely serving right? Was it Boys and Girls Club? What?
Yeah, Boys Hope, Girls Hope. Yeah, I worked with first generation college students, so that were in a residential program. So yeah, I've found my way. I think there's like a thread that ties it all, certainly like education is one, but definitely thinking about equity, whatever
Mm,
whatever
yes.
education can do. And it doesn't solve so many of the problems, but I've seen it
Hmm.
be an equalizer when the right opportunities are given. So when I look at my life, I just see that as the path. And I think working towards that or feeling like I'm just like the tiniest, tiniest sliver of that, like the pinpoint of that has been meaningful
Yeah.
to me. So
Yeah. That you're
yeah,
contributing.
yeah,
You're
I think so.
contributing your gifts and your love. I mean, what I have seen in you, and I am going to share your karma cards. What Pam, the Four of Hearts and the Queen of Hearts, which is very fascinating that such a work-driven card again, and we can go back to talking about workaholic and is it good or is
Yeah.
it bad? Yeah, because I think anytime you put a holic on it, it's gonna give it that negative
Unless it's
connotation.
chocolate.
Right. True. Good point. The work success card, but you carry in karmic energy that has everything to do with the heart, with
Mm,
love, with in with having a protected home, a shelter, a place of comfort. And then also like the queen, she is just the master of love, not only through her own like sexual power and identity, but also as that like loving mother and how we care for and nurture those that are in our family. So there can be a conflict too for the Ten of Spades
mm.
between like a very focused work career path driven and then this strong desire to be at home and have a nurturing
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah, which you also felt too, right?
Oh
That
yeah.
that pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, there are so many times when picking teaching like we did, right? I
Mhm.
think was that just the career that was offered to me? I'm 49, yeah, now. I think I grew up in a small town. I don't know. I didn't see a lot of women do a lot of
Mm.
different things.
Nurses,
But
teachers. Yeah.
right, yeah, totally. So part of it's just like, is that what I was exposed to? And so there it became, right? But also I think choosing teaching or having it chosen for me, I'm not really sure where it lands, but like it's been a good profession for these two things that you're saying that I think can
Yep.
be in conflict,
Yep.
because just having my son at school with me and being around young people, I mean, like it's allowed me to marry those two things and not feel
Mm.
as torn, I think, as I would have
I
if I
that
was
that's
in
key. I
something
do
else.
think that you have navigated that beautifully well.
Yeah.
And what is interesting, because I know that I chose the teaching profession because of that. I knew that eventually I would want to become a mother and I'd want the flexibility, the opportunity to be at home with them.
Yeah.
What as we're sitting here talking, you and I share the Four of Hearts karma card. So you and I, like from the Four of Spades and the Ten of Spades, we're what are called karmic cousins. So it's like a Four of Hearts person. Oh, get this. And this would be Austin Weeks. He is a Four of Hearts. So shout out to our dear co-teacher as well, Four of Hearts. So like I start to see how all of us are connected.
Huh.
He's this Four of Hearts energy, but the 10 gives to the four gives to the other four. So we're kind of like linked together. And it's just funny that one of our coworkers happens to be
Okay, so tell me more about the karmic cousins. That's interesting. Like, what is that?
the karmic cousins. That means that on both sides, so we're all, there are 45 cards of the 52 cards in the deck that are karmically connected. And the way that the system quadrates, again, it's a scientifically calculated system. And there is a process called quadration where you, quote unquote, best way I can explain it, shuffle the cards. But again, it's done in a very methodical way. And you lay the cards out. And then when you pick them back up and you quadrate again, when the cards get laid back down, they're in the spot of their karma card. We all follow our cards. So it's one of those things that's truly unbelievable. Every time I do it, I'm like that like I don't know how you can make this shit up. Like how it works like
Yeah.
that. But so we follow our karma, but the way I also think about it is if we were all humankind standing in a big giant circle, and I know, humankind, billions of people, but left hand, right hand, it's a giving and a receiving energy. So for you and I, again, put our buddy Austin there in the middle, like my how does it flow? It flows from the Ten of Spades to the Four of Hearts. So you're giving to the Four of Hearts. You're giving
Mm,
to, like, in this lifetime, the Ten of Spades people are also here to learn about stability at home, to learn
mm,
about what it means to have a protected, safe home environment. And it could also be around our relationships, but especially when I see the four, I see home because, the four walls. So you're giving
mm.
your energy to that or to a person. You can often be of service to a Four of Hearts type person. Again, I do believe you even might have taken over a position that he once had. And, so you're
Yeah.
like, I got this now. You go teach world religions. I'll teach this.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
And then the same thing. And then that four of hearts does the same for the four of spades. But how
Ah,
I feel the four of hearts differently is I receive the energy. So it's believed that, it can also indicate where we've been in previous lifetimes and the things that we have learned and brought in previous lifetimes. And so for me, I get the benefit of like a stabilizing home. And that's why like the last 5 years have been so traumatic for me, just trying to recreate that. And I'm happy to say that I'm now at a place where I feel like I'm taking an exhale and it's just like a beautiful, like I've re-grounded myself here. And
yeah.
and that four of hearts helps. It's like the wind beneath my wings. And then,
Uh-huh.
so the wind beneath the Ten of Spades wings, if you go the other direction, is the Queen
Okay.
of Hearts. So you carry in the wisdom of the Queen. You carry in the mastery with you. So that's part of, so I look at our two karma cards, our first karma card, again, for the Ten of Spades, that Four of Hearts. That would be like your soul challenge in a way, or what, you're giving some of your attention and
I see.
energy too. Whereas the Queen of Hearts, being the second karma card, the Queen is like the wind beneath your wings. She is
Okay.
Bette Midler singing to you that you are the
God,
master.
that's such a good movie.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I know. Yeah, so does that make sense? Like, and
Yeah.
and then like the more
So
that
does that mean like, okay, so like you're saying like often Ten of Spades, they're like kind of looking out for Four of Hearts or like supporting or like giving energy.
Mhm.
Does that mean I need to be looking for Ten of or for the Queens? It was a Queen of
No,
Hearts, right?
no, they often
No.
find you. What's
Okay.
interesting for me, my one of my other karma cards, so I have the Four of Hearts, but I also have the Ten of Clubs. And then that would be our dear friend Ashley, also a
Oh,
co-teacher. So, like, and it's just so interesting to see how the four of us were literally like
oh,
one next to another, like woven together. And
that's
that's the
crazy.
power that comes through this system when you start to see that who carries the signature of what card. And then
Hmm.
I start to notice, I was like, I have so many 10 of club people in my life. And that's my first karma. And it's like, and I do give a lot to them. In
Hmm.
whatever way I can, like it all shows up differently, but also you give to the idea of. So for people who are brand new to this, like, I don't know who a 10 of clubs is, what a four of hearts is. I just learned I'm a 10 of spades or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need to worry about, or you don't need to put your mind into figuring out who the people are.
Yeah, I'm like
Uh,
walking up to people. I'm like, what's your
well, no, that is literally what I do nowadays. Like, you
I'm
don't
not
get to,
inviting you unless you're a Queen of Hearts.
yeah, yeah. And nobody gets on a first date with me without me knowing their birthday first. So that's real. That has happened since.
That's fair.
My goodness. But you'll just see like, and maybe you'll feel like really supported by Queen of Hearts people. And then when you find out, so a lot of times when I do readings for people or relationship reports for people, they're just like, oh my gosh, I've always felt this. And it just confirms.
Huh.
And that's what is amazing for me as a reader is like I just spent a whole weekend doing readings out at a winery, and I don't know these people at all, but I can read their cards, I can decode the system, I could share something and ask if it resonates, and they're always like, "That's crazy." And that was my
Mm,
experience when it came to
hmm,
me.
hmm.
And I was at that place where I was definitely looking for something to help anchor me in the midst because I was like Dorothy in the tornado, like what just happened to my world?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is part of what's anchored me. So yeah, the karma. Love karma. And
Okay,
and I, and
okay.
I think that again, I think that you have done a beautiful balance of that because you did work at a school where your son could go to that school.
Yeah.
And then when
Hmm.
he graduated, like you had an idea that you were going to kind of transition your role. But you already said that you lightened your load and then you've taken on
Yeah,
a million
yeah,
other
for sure.
things.
So, yeah, and I think I don't even know what sense to make of it. People are like, what are you doing? You said you were doing less and now you're doing more. But in my mind, it's just like opportunities come. and I see them and I kind of grab them. And I think a lot of people maybe before they say yes, think about, oh, that's going to be this commitment, this. I don't really think like that. I'm just
Mm,
like, I don't know. I'm excited for a new opportunity, or it just
yeah.
makes sense, I guess. So I guess I don't, I mean, I overthink things 100% for sure, but I don't think about it in that way. Like, oh,
Okay.
this
Yeah.
is going to take more than I think I can do until I'm overwhelmed,
Well,
which
yeah, because
happens
you
all
could
the
do
time.
whatever you could do whatever you put your mind to. You're crazy
Yeah.
strong power to get it
Yeah.
done and to do the work.
Yeah.
You know you're going to do the work. Like there's no
Yeah. And
question.
I don't know how to stay home. Like, I don't know how to stay in bed. Like, literally,
Yeah.
I was like, my goal, because we're on winter break, my goal this week was to have one day where I watched a movie in the middle of the day and read all day. And it's Thursday.
You haven't done it yet.
And
Well,
I know.
and so that is what I want to offer to you and to all the Ten of Spades listening, or maybe you know a Ten of Spades, you love a Ten of Spades, just to know like it is actually okay. It is okay for them to want to work, to feel like because there is such a pull of desire to be a contribution to that. And of course, when you're contributing to others, of course it fills your cup as well. Um, and
Yeah,
that
I would say it's not like a tiring thing for me, like I
and
don't,
that's the other thing.
yeah,
Yes.
it's an energy giver, not I mean, not always. I will say, like, I don't want to present it as like, oh, I'm always ready to go and excited and it's 5 a.m. and I'm like, but,
Yeah.
but for the most part, like it does give me energy, and
Right.
then sometimes I get a little martyry about it, but for the most part, it gives me energy.
Yeah, and I think I remember like one of the key moments that I remember, and I could still see us in the hallways of the old building, and this was like my world was falling apart, and your mother
Mm,
passed away, and it happened to be during this really intense mental health week that we were going through, and I remember observing you because you were entering into a phase of grief that you were just entering into a phase of grief. I have been in this deep, profound grief. And so when you see somebody there with you, it's like I paid extra special attention, but then I remember going like, I don't know how you're doing what you're doing
mm,
because you showed up to this, I mean, this mental health week that we created, and you showed up fully, like none of the kids, I don't know how many of the students understood that your mother had just passed
yeah,
away. And you
yeah.
and your response, and because I remember asking you this, your response was, this is what my soul needs. I need to be here giving to these kids. Like I need to be doing this. And in my mind, I had the gift of the pandemic to fall the frick apart, to lose it completely. And we weren't teaching live at that time. I had almost a year and a half to grieve in silence. And that wasn't for you, but you showed up.
Mm-mm, hmm. And
You, you
I
know,
don't know what I would have done if my mom died in that quiet time. I don't know. I can't
right.
even imagine it for myself because and for me, like when my mom died, I knew because she was like, if there are past lives, we have definitely walked many, many together. But I knew the journey was going to be so long. And
Mm,
I knew it was going to never be finished for me. Like
mm,
there was no healing moment I was waiting for. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like if I just put myself in a
mhm.
space and thought about it for long enough and
Right.
processed it long enough, like it would be over, I think. Like I knew that wasn't my reality.
Hmm.
And so to me, it was like, well, of course, I'm just going to feel it always and I'm going to get on with my life and find a new normal with it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
strange that I did it so quickly, I mean, I know
Yeah.
people were like, what are you doing here? And in
Wait.
fact, can I tell you the
Yes.
funniest story? Like, so the
Yes.
day that my mom died was Decades Day. Oh my
Yes.
God. And
decades
I
thing.
was dressed up like like red hot, like as like
You were goth.
it
You
was
were
like 90s
90s.
grunge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had like black eyeliner
Yes.
under, like I had a red hot chili peppers. Like that's what I wore and laid in bed with my mom while she died. And I remember when right before she kind of lost the ability to speak, she looked at me and she said, "What are you wearing?" And I was like,
Oh my God.
excellent question. Like, what am I doing? Like,
What am I
I
wearing?
should be over here and like, like whatever you wear when you go to prepare that the
Right.
person
Like
your soul's connected to is
not
dying.
not
Oh, what did
dressed
I show
up
up in?
like a 90s
Yeah.
90s
I had
grunge.
like
Yes.
black eyeliner, whatever.
Oh my God.
Um,
Yes.
but I think that was just like the perfect moment. And also her reaction, just knowing who I was and raising me were so similar to be like, she knew too, she just kind of got a chuckle out of it. She's like, what are you wearing? But
Oh.
I don't know. For me, I don't know. Like I obviously am deeply in love and with both my son and my husband. I don't know what that would look like. I mean, I don't know if something happened to them, if there would be a amount where like
Mm, mm,
grief would stop me.
mm.
But I don't know. I don't even like to think about
Yeah,
it. But
we
I
don't
have
even
a
need
sense I
to.
would probably just I don't know because I don't know how to live a different
Right.
way.
Right.
So I don't know. So
Well,
but I think people find you strange if you're like this, right? Like people
I
find
think
you
that I
strange.
think that that is it. And to quote the beautiful Mel Robbins, let them
Yeah,
because what you can walk away from this knowing is just that the way that you respond, the way that you have that desire when you have like a quiet moment, you're like, ooh, what else? I know that you've got multiple businesses happening,
yeah,
you're all and again. Full-time English teacher at an international baccalaureate charter school in Boise, Idaho.
yeah,
Plenty, plenty in and of itself. But you always have
totally.
layers
And
upon layers on top of that. And it's just how you're designed to be. And that is awesome to
yeah.
use that force.
And I think if there were, I think the stigma's changed a little bit, but like if there were women that were this card, I think you have to let go of what a lot of people think about you in terms of like working. So I had my son 2 weeks later, I was back on the road traveling. There was a lot of judgment around that. Like I still remember being on an airplane and I was opening up my computer and there's a picture of my son Oscar on it, and he was maybe I don't know, a couple months old. And someone said to me, like, what are you doing here instead of there?
Oh,
Um,
oh
yeah,
gosh. Straight
yeah.
up
And I was like,
judgment.
what are you doing asking me these questions? Like, who are you? But I think, that's a hard thing, right? Because
Yeah.
I went back to work right away. I've worked through difficult times.
Yes.
So I think people, because they know, like, it's such a strange, not strange, a unique way to deal with grief and
Yeah.
loss and change and whatever.
Hmm.
I don't think a lot of people understand it. So a
Me.
lot of people will put a lot of judgment on it and be like,
Yes.
you're not feeling it. I get this all the time. Like, you just need to like feel your feelings. And I'm like, you don't live inside my head.
Right.
You don't know how I'm processing things.
Right.
Like, you don't know what is in there. So, but there is a lot of that because people see you moving and they assume it's just like forward movement and
Like
you're
you're in
not.
denial or
Yes.
you're like,
Yes, I
yeah.
think that's very true. Like
Mhm.
I feel like there's a lot of denial judgment, like denial of like, oh, you're a mother now and you need to do things differently. Or,
Mm, mhm.
your mom just died and you need to be like under the covers for the next 3 months, and put up the black. And I think that's really hard because
Yeah.
there's this norm in society about how things are supposed to work.
Right.
And
And that is it. Like that, like yeah, that it is totally acceptable for people to go and hide under
totally,
the covers for 3 months, but to show back up at work and or, after any transition to go back into life and just being like, well,
yeah.
this is, you have this understanding. Also, your roadmap has a lot of spiritual cards in it. You have double sevens and you finish with double nines. Those are spiritual cards. And so
Hmm.
you're probably also just equipped with knowing that this is part of the process.
Yeah.
Life and death. It's there's only one thing we all have in common.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think I saw a lot of death when I was young. Like my
Mm,
grandma died. It was just she and I when she died, and I was young.
wow.
I had an experience when I was before high school where a young man died in my presence. So, yeah, it's partly that life too. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hardest thing, right? Like, we're all going to die and people are going to move on. And I think when you see someone not move on, I mean, I would not say I'm like moved on from my mom. I'm not. I like desperately
No.
miss her every day. But when you see people that are taking actions, right? I think it's a reminder to a lot of people that they will be forgotten in one way or another,
Mm,
like
mm,
that
mm.
that's the reality of being on this earth. You do what you can, you give as much as you can,
Yeah.
you support your community, you what but then
Yeah.
like you're gone. So, and I don't think people want to be reminded of that. Like people will wake up one day and you will be not the people that love them will not be under the covers.
Yeah.
And that's hard. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to
Yeah. And
be significant and everyone is significant, but also it's just human nature to survive and to move on. And I think I just see that and I do it in my own at a different pace, I think, maybe.
yeah, you do it at a
So that's
different pace.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
that's another takeaway. Like we all do. Like there is no way to grieve. There's no one right way. There is no one wrong way. There is only an authentic way. And I
Yeah.
just remember the contrast, like I
Hmm.
just remember seeing that and witnessing that. I was like, there's
Yeah.
no way. There's no way I would have had the capacity. And but that also witnessing you grieve your mother in your way by showing up for our students and our community in a really important week that we created collectively as a staff to support mental health. That to see how you did that, and then for me to see that contrast of, oh, there's a reason that my whole grief story had to happen in the silence because that actually the universe knew that that is going to be the most supportive place for me. I didn't have the same tools or equipment inside to to go through it without
Maybe it's
this.
not tools. Maybe it's just like you're saying, like we just do it different,
Yeah,
like we
I'm a
just do.
crier. I'm a big feeler. I'm gonna feel first. I'm gonna cry first. But I was also in the middle of a whole identity reset. I mean, there were millions of other
Yeah.
things going on. And that's one of the things that I also just I don't know that I will ever have the right amount of words for you
Hmm.
during that time. You truly, truly, truly helped me in ways that I don't know that you'll ever understand, just by reminding me that I was more than a wife and a mother. And you really saw me for me. And
Hmm.
were always a champion of me getting the information, doing what I needed, and supporting me. And even when that came to walking away from the school a couple years later,
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
have been a support. And you've been an impactful person in my life, and I'm so grateful
Hmm.
that our paths crossed, and now we know we're karmic cousins.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been such I still remember you coming to Sage, and
Oh my
you
gosh.
have such, like you said, big, beautiful energy. And
Hmm.
I'm drawn to people
Hmm.
that are like that. And you also are a doer for people. And I have so much love and respect for people who will just like step into the fray and be like, yeah, what do you need? So you take care of people's hearts so well. And so of
Hmm.
course I was happy to be in
Yeah.
your life. You were so easy. Like, and I'm also just very practical, like when you were
Yeah.
struggling, I was like,
Yeah.
there's so much to you. You're such a beautiful being.
Mm.
I want you to see that for yourself. And it was hard to see that
Yeah.
so many years you didn't see that
Yeah.
for yourself. So
Yeah.
I was grateful that I am so grateful there was something you needed to come to our school because you found
Oh.
all these women that were like,
Oh my gosh.
and
Totally.
it
It
just like, it was exactly what you needed. And I'm sorry
independent,
it couldn't
strong.
stay. I mean, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Independent, strong, courageous, like
yeah.
sovereign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sage changed my life. I mean, lots of
Yeah.
things changed in those years that I was at Sage. It is
Yeah.
definitely some of the most impactful year, some of. Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
definitely.
And now
I
I
mean,
look at
becoming
your
a mother,
daughter.
yes, but what's
Yeah.
that?
And I said, now I look at Nora, your daughter, and she
Yeah.
exhibits so many of those same things. And so,
Oh,
she was always a strong-willed person too. I don't know what her part is, but
yes, yes, still is.
she's got big energy card too, I'm sure.
Yes, yes. That
But
woman is
I'm
a
glad.
force. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like my life has been shaped by amazing, beautiful women. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm so in love with my husband and we've been together for so long now, but not I mean,
And
period.
yeah.
And, you know, like it's just, I've had such a rich life of amazing women. Like women are
Yes.
like we're
Yes.
so amazing. I think that's why
So
we're so feared.
yes.
Because we're so amazing.
Well, and now there is a story for another day where if you want to
Yes.
talk about feminist literature, get this woman on women's
Yeah, call me
rights
up.
and oh my goodness, definitely. So if people do want to get a hold of you, is there anything that you have that you want to share out or uh,
Well, I
either
mean,
either what you're
I would
doing
say,
personally and or it could be a wisdom shout out too. So
yeah. Okay. What I would say is like, I think I grew up in a really small town. And I had biracial siblings, which forced me to be open-minded.
mhm,
And so like there are a lot of things. Like you and I, we have like even we're close. We have very different spiritual beliefs.
mhm,
I mean, I'm not sure what exists in this world, but I'm much more like pragmatic about it. But like I think even though like I do see meaning in work and in some ways very traditional things, right?
mhm.
Like work and community and home. I also think and like that's part of my core. If there are other people like me, I think being open-minded has and that's such like a cliche word. It's like our ID word.
And
But
ID word.
I think that countering that, with this kind of like, I must be busy and do and help and serve.
Mm,
But like
mhm.
to be open minded, because I don't think we would have remained friends. Like you've gone through an amazing transformation and learned more about your life and how you make sense of the meat world. And
Yeah.
that would be heartbreaking if I was like, oh no, that we
Yeah.
hadn't maintained that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have very firm beliefs, and I think maybe other people who are like me probably have similar. I don't know
Mhm.
if that's that queen wisdom that's just like, this is so. But I think I've also tried to stay as open as I could so that I didn't miss out.
Yeah.
Like for example, we were just joking about this, but like I'm living in a college dorm. What am I doing with my life? But it's because like an opportunity presented itself.
Yeah.
My husband is really wanted to live in a community as a faculty member, and so I say yes to a lot of things. Um, and I think that's been really good.
So it's
And
like
stay open.
and like a curiosity from a perspective
Yeah.
of like what is this experience going to teach me or bring me or what am I going to learn here? What does it mean to yeah, what does it mean to
Live in a
I
college dorm.
yeah, seriously, when your Zoom background, I just kind of had to get I'm like, where are you in your,
Yeah.
thinking in your house?
The
And I'm like, oh,
industrial door.
it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love what you've done with the place. The painting on the walls, the dark brown doors, fabulous.
So
But
true. So
being
true.
open-minded, being yeah, that is an IB attribute. Yes,
It
indeed.
is. It is. It
Open-minded, but
is.
it's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so because I think when I find joy in work and meaning in work, but like, playful joy. I
Mm,
mean, that's harder for me to find because I am kind of serious, so like you said, like giving to Austin, like he's a different energy than me, and having you in my life, like that's more like playful joy because I don't find
mm,
that naturally inside myself, and not sure if that's the cards that I have,
right,
but
right.
I don't laugh as as freely as you do, and I really admire you for that. And
Mm,
I'm not as playful as you are. And so just staying open to new opportunities
yeah,
has allowed me to
right.
invite some of that back. It's like every year, like, do I do tree fort? I don't know. That's really late at night.
I know. Do we go to tree
I
fort?
have to work the next day.
Right.
But
Exactly.
so I'm always trying to say yes when I really, really, really want to say no.
And that's interesting though, because that would be on the playful side things, on the like the tree fort, like, should we go karaokeing tonight? Should
Yeah.
we, like this kind of stuff. But sometimes if it's a work project or a something for work, you might be more willing to say yes. I wonder, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. But when it's for me, just like playful joy, I struggle more. So that's
Interesting.
something I can learn. I'm
Yeah.
working on, or like I can
Yeah.
learn more from saying
Yeah.
yes more when it's like,
Yeah, and as we evolve through our lives and also just set in like knowing that, okay, I have this really, really strong work drive energy. And as long as it feels good in your body, you're excited, you're curious, you're like, what is this going to present? And I often go back to the joy meter. Like, where are you at with the joy meter? And it really feels like that you say yes to a lot of the projects, a lot of the opportunities because it feels inspiring and interesting and let me learn it versus I have to, oh my gosh, here's another thing. It's a different mentality for sure.
absolutely. I totally agree. I just need to bring more of that yes sometimes into
Person.
fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, which is,
Yeah.
we're all working on a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll figure out a time to go hit out the karaoke because I gotta
Yeah.
say, I just texted I texted Faith where I was like, I've been thinking about it. I was like, I definitely would love to have you on to the show for the Ten of Spades. One, very unique, not many Ten of Spades people. Just again,
Yeah. How many other
January
Ten of
4th,
Spades
February
friends did you
2nd.
have?
There's that. But then it was the eclipse the other day. And so, of course, I listened to Total Eclipse of the Heart. And then, of course, I think about my friend Faith because that is one of our power
Yes.
duets.
Turn around, bright eyes. We could do
She
this whole
sings the
thing. They
high,
don't
I
need to
sing,
see it.
I
They don't
sing
need to
the
see
low.
it.
I'm the turn around. So good.
Yeah, we should go again.
Yeah, we will do that. And Treefort is coming. So,
It is. It is.
it is. And for
I
anybody who
have a
is,
spare room here in the college dorm. Feel free to sleep over. I mean, it's just
you know what?
across.
I just found out that I did not even know such large apartment suites existed at the dorms.
Yeah,
I am
feel
not
free.
I am going to be open-minded about that. And for anybody who is listening who is not in the Boise area, Tree Fort is a music festival now on steroids. There's yoga for it, there's comedy for it, there's film for it, there's all these other things. But it is a week really to celebrate the arts and local musicians, and it is a heck of a good time. And
It is.
it
It
kicks
is.
off right
Come.
around the equinox. So
Yeah.
good times to come. Good times to come for sure. And I think actually the picture that I'm going to put on the thumbnail is a picture of the two of us from last year's tree fort.
I love that. I
We
love
always
that.
find each other there. We
We
always,
do.
we always make
Yeah.
a way. Yeah. Well, is there any parting wisdom that you would like to beside or parting wisdom or any
Well, no, I just want
yeah,
to
that
say
was
thanks
it.
for,
The
yeah,
open-mindedness. You said
inviting
it.
me and teaching me more. I
Yeah.
mean, I think we have talked a little bit
Yeah.
about like my work energy, but
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever talked to me about those karma cards. And that was really interesting to me,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
way to, because I definitely make meaning. And so I think I guess my parting wisdom, I don't know if I have any. I think it's just
Yeah.
you do what's before you,
Yeah.
and you find meaning in that. I mean, that's just you do what's before you, and if you do it right, I suppose if you connect
Yeah.
it to the
Mm,
like the people you love and
mhm,
care, the like I care about
mhm,
education, like it's definitely can change people's lives. It's not the only thing, but like then you just do the work before you, and
mm.
that's a life lived well, I think.
Do
you
the
know.
work before you, spoken like a true Ten of Spades, but true. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Faith,
Of
for being here
course.
to hear a little bit about this and about how the system works and what it means to be a Ten of Spades, to love a Ten of Spades. And remember, if it is not your birth card, if you're not one of those two birth dates, it can also be your planetary ruling card if you're curious to know how to find that out. As always, I have my link in the description to sign up for a soul purpose clarity call, and I can tell you your cards and yes, and we will come back. We have the final 3 weeks of winter season. So buckle up. Spring is coming. We're getting through it. Next week, we are going to meet with the artist's card, the Jack of Spades. And until then, here's to love and joy in the journey. Thanks for being here, Faith. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Uh,